No, no. Why do my son call me every time?
You going through what I go through.
I pressed the live button, so give me a second. Okay, Earl, I'm ready. Yes.
The views expressed on this program are not those of IntellectualRadio.com, its subsidiaries, or sponsors. Encouraging, educating, and empowering you into action. This is Warriors Talk with your host, Lady ReShell.
Hello, hello. Welcome to Warriors Talk with author and founder Lady ReShell, where we move away from awareness towards action. And I have co-hosting with me none other than cancer activist, motivational speaker, and the founder of the Gal Foundation, Rizal Gilmore. Hello, Rizal.
Hello, Lady Rochelle. How are you today?
I'm doing good. Just got in from this storm. It's raining cats and dogs. There's trees down on the street. It's crazy outside.
Oh, the storm is still going on. I know Jersey got hit pretty bad with the trees and wires and no power. I know it was still going. Ooh.
Oh yeah, it's crazy right now. I'm glad that I made it here safe. So everybody out there, please just take your time, be safe. Don't be in a rush because it's really bad outside. But we do have a great show for you guys today who are probably in their cars driving or just at home. Our topic for today is, are you ready for love? And we are live on Intellectual Radio. We have a lot of different shows that come on this station. So you could just keep it locked right here on Intellectual Radio, and we are guaranteed actually to feed your brain. So the show is being sponsored by Emanuel Church of God in Christ with my pastor Michael Richardson, and we are located at 3058 West Van Buren in Chicago. But we are still practicing social distancing, so you can actually catch the Word of God every Sunday at 10:15 a.m. on our Emanuel Cogic Facebook page. And our relationship quote of the day is, being in a relationship is a full time job. Do not apply if you're not ready. So I'm excited about the show today. Are you ready for love? So many people, always say that they're ready to be in a relationship. They're ready for a partner to grow with, to finish their sentences, to know their love language, and to build a legacy with. But are you really, really ready for love? What do you think, Rizal?
That's what people say until it's actually time to put in the effort and put in the work to actually being in that relationship or that marriage or whatever it is. And then once they find that it's really not, there's a lot to it, the cold feet start to come on. So you can want it all you want, but are you really truly ready for it? Because it's a lot of responsibility that comes with it. A lot.
It definitely is a lot of responsibility. I think a lot of people think that they're ready, but they don't really position and prepare themselves for a relationship, especially if you're used to being by yourself, doing things by yourself, and not really checking in with anybody. It could be, overwhelming. Now I have this extra person. I got to tell them where I'm going, and not really that you're checking in. It's a courtesy when you're in a relationship to, just to, let the other person know what's going on. But I think a lot of people think they want to be in a relationship until they get in the relationship and find out how much work it is.
Exactly. They like the convenience of a relationship, but they don't like the commitment of a relationship. And those are two different things. They would like to be in it, but it's much easier to say, okay, hey, I got somebody. Yeah, I'm in love. Toodle-doo-doo-doo. But what it really takes, no, it's a lot more to it than that, especially to get to that point when that other person is finishing your sentences and you know how they think, you know how they feel, and you're actually growing with them. It's a lot. People ain't ready for that. They're really not.
It does. It takes a lot. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pause really quick because I want to go to Facebook, and I want to start a Facebook party because I never get to start one when I'm doing my show. So I'm going to go ahead and do it.
Hey, it's a party. It's a party. It's a party.
And I'm hoping I don't get any feedback because sometimes I get feedback when I try to start a party, but I'm hoping I don't. So let's see. I'm gonna turn my phone.
That's okay. You got this.
So if you guys are listening, just like, share the show, invite somebody else in on the show so that they can get this information. At one point in time, I'm sure all of us wanted to fall in love. So we're going to give some tips on if you're ready to fall in love. Now, I did read a stat that said, it was a newfound study that said that the chances of finding love in a given day is 1 in 562 if you just leave it up to fate.
Wow. Really?
Yeah.
So that's what's happening. That's what's going on. This why.
So
Okay.
if you're not doing anything, you're not really putting in the effort, you're just leaving it up to fate, then you have a 1 in 562 chances of finding love.
So do you think this is why so many people are dormant, and they haven't found the person? Everybody's like, oh, I'm going to let him find me. But if you ain't putting yourself out there, he's not going to find you. Oh, I'm going to wait until it comes to me. I'm not going to rush it. Honey, you're getting you ain't no spring chicken anymore. It's time to like buckle down and really rethink this thing and start putting some effort somewhere. I understand that you want God to lead you and, you want to make sure it's correct and everything, but time is a ticking. Time is a ticking. We got to start getting busy. You got to start, stop being so picky. Oh my God, the pickiness.
And that's one of the things that's on my list. I think that we have this unrealistic expectation of what it is that we want. And I think as you age, the things that you want, they do change. And we don't take time to adjust our list to say, oh, okay, now that I'm 30, I'm not looking for X, Y, Z. So, we need to take time, check in with ourselves and take time to erase some of that stuff off our list, because as we get older, our list gets smaller. When you was 20, you in your 20s, you might have you might have 50 things on your list. When you're in your 50s, you might have 5 things on your list that, that you want or that you might tolerate. So we need to continue to check in with ourselves, do inventory of ourselves. So, when we're looking for these other people, that we have something to offer them as well.
You are absolutely right. I know one of the things that was big on a woman's list was the man got to be tall, dark, and handsome. And I was talking with this young lady who's she's about to be 40 now. She still hasn't found that tall, dark, and handsome. And not only that, she's a woman of a certain height. And she finally realized that she's not going to get everything what she's looking for. So she said females who's looking for that tall guy that's taller than him, she passed up so many great opportunities with other guys because of her own list of what she wanted and it really wasn't what she needed. So she missed out on a great amount of guys because of this situation. So now when she look at it, when, I asked her, I said, well, do you look for tall men, short men? She said, women who's looking for men that's taller than them, they're wasting their time. They need to grow up. Don't look for that. Look who's going to make you happy and who's going to be good by you. That's who you look for.
I think those are preferences. So if you're looking for somebody who's tall, somebody who's of a certain weight or whatever, those are preferences that people have. They're personal ones, but it's not something that they actually need for the relationship to survive. So those are the things that you really want to be looking for. So we're going to talk about what are some signs that you are ready for love. Like, how did you know, Rizal, when you married your wife and when you fell in love with your wife, like, how did you know that you was ready for that relationship?
Honestly, I didn't, but I think it was time that led me to it, because after you spend so much time, you don't just fall in love. I think I grew in love with her, and we were young. My wife was my high school sweetheart, something that you don't see very often, carrying from high school and then after high school and on and on and on. She's my high school sweetheart. And we were only like 15. No, she was 15 and I was 16. I was a senior in high school at 16. She was 15 and a freshman. So nowadays and age, you may not even look like, well, she's just a freshman, but I didn't look at that. Obviously, I had a higher calling, to her for that. But I think not until after about a year and a half, when I actually could say, I'm really in love with this woman. I'm ready to settle down, have kids, and do all of that stuff. I wanted to be with her. And being that we both were young, we did a lot of ripping and running, but when you're able to come back after all of that, no matter what the situation was, that there's a strong bond there that you two have built that nobody can destroy. So that's how I knew that I was then ready to be, married, in love. I was in love and committed to her.
Wow. I think when I realized that I was in love with my husband is when we moved in together. Like, I didn't leave my mom's house until I got 27. I was like, I'm just gonna stay here. And so I'm gonna stay here. So once him and I started dating, and it got to a point where I was like, okay, I want to be with him. I'm like, let's move and get our own place, and so we can, have our time together. So, and that's what we did. So that's how I knew that I was in love with him. Because other than that, I probably would have moved out on my own, but I was taking my time doing it. But, by me falling in love with him kind of helped me push myself along and get out of my mom's house. Yeah, that's when I found out I was in love. So if you're listening to the show, let us know, how did you know that you were in love with the person that you are with right now? So we're going to go over these signs to let you know that you're ready for love.
But you know what? The love got deeper also. But go ahead and let's hear what some of the signs are.
It's on different levels. I think as you grow, you do love on a different level. And that love turns into different things. So, and I think people have to realize that, because we go in thinking it's just going to always be this honeymoon phase, and it's not. So you have to be prepared, and that's where you're growing and you're bonding, so that when those times hit, you're ready. Okay, so here we are. So are you strong enough to make a choice over your mate when it comes to your friends and your family?
Yes, should be your mate first anyway. Friends and family, they have to understand, like, even when you say your vows, or in the Bible, like, a man is to take to his wife over his mother, or whatever the case. So yeah, I know I'm ready. Shoot, half the family and friends I don't even talk to anyway. So
I don't ask them none of their opinions at all. I may ask my mom, but I may not even go with what she says. I just want to know what she's thinking. But ultimately, it's my decision. So Reby Ryan says, women should look for a man of an average height with a good head on his shoulder, a kind heart that would protect and provide for himself. So that's what she's looking for.
What if that man is 4'11"? What do you mean a man at a certain height? What is it about the height? The height doesn't determine the man, Reba. Let's talk to her for a minute.
Oh, Reba, I think you made him upset. Rick McCain of Let's Stay Together Talk radio show, which airs Tuesdays at, I want to say 6:30 p.m. On SOAR Radio. So, okay, so Rick McCain says, I knew I was in love after she continuously drove me crazy, and I still wanted to be with her. That's funny, because you know what? I think a lot of people probably feel the same way. They're like, you know what? This person driving me. I'm just going to go ahead and be with this person, because it's like you love that craziness. It's something about, them driving you crazy, and you just love it. You just love it.
Crazy is what crazy does. You attract what you are.
I think, no, that's kind of crazy. I mean, you feel, like, oh my goodness, like I can't do without this person. So
yeah, understandable.
Yes. Hey, Henry. Thank you guys for tuning in. Reby says also, friends and family will be happy for you if you're happy. Yeah, sometimes, but not all the time.
Sometimes, yeah, sometimes.
And you can't even
you got a couple haters lurking.
Yes, you have to keep your stuff quiet. You gotta have them to come to the wedding, because or maybe you have to even elope, because they'll try to mess things up. Okay, she said, I said average height because you spoke about the lady that wanted the tall, dark, and handsome man. That's why she said they had to be of an average height. Hello.
You just waiting for me to say something, ain't you?
She just responded.
Okay, I'm going to ask her. Well, what is average height? No, average height of a man, I think, is like 5'7", 5'8", something like that. That's the average height. But will she be happy? Will a woman be happy with a man that's 5'7", 5'8", or whatever the case? No, they want 6 foot and above. Perfect example. Juju. She wants a man. They have to be 6 feet or taller.
Okay, so I'm sorry to interrupt you, but the average height for a male is 5'6". The average height for a female is 5'2".
Okay, so if he 5'7", she winning right there. What's the problem? Women ain't satisfied with 5'7". The average height is 5'6". It got to be 6 feet. Oh my goodness gracious God, are we really living in these times? First the pandemic, the fat boys break up. Now this. Oh my God.
Okay, the next one, we're talking about the signs, how you know that you are in love. So the next one is you control your sexual impulses.
You control your sexual impulses.
Like you're not
impulses. Okay.
Everybody, you know, you saving that for that person. No.
I don't know if that necessarily describes that you in love, that you'll save it. But I mean, now this right here, we might have to spend a little bit of time on, because if you're two people who's waiting for marriage to do, then that's something that's between y'all, and that's a wonderful thing. But if you're two people beforehand, that's like, boom, we're going to get into it. I don't know if that's saying that I'm in love with you if I'm waiting for you. Because I'm like, what if you get it and the box is trash? Then what? You still going to say you're going to be in love? You're not going to be in love.
This is why
you're going to be trying to get rid of it.
This is why we're supposed to do it God's way. So if we do it God's way and we wait for each other, then we don't have anybody to measure that person to. You don't know if it's not good sex or not because you haven't been with anybody else. But because we have this past, we're comparing that person to the other people that we have been with. And that person could be good or average sex, but because you done had all this wild, crazy stuff, you know, now this person, no, she can't or he can't, you know, satisfy me because, you know, so because you're so far out there and you have been open to all these other things.
Don't experience make the best teacher.
Not necessarily. Okay, so Rebe Ryan says, no, you are fighting with me, brother, about this height thing. This is funny. Oh my goodness. Okay. Where's the next one? So that was 2. So the next one says, you love yourself. A lot of people don't love themselves, so we accept anything from anybody. We'll allow people to treat us any kind of way. It says, you don't have to love everything about yourself. You don't have to really be in love with yourself to think that you're amazing or incredible, but you just have to love yourself enough to know that you deserve a healthy, happy relationship, and you're unwilling to settle for anything less than that.
That I can agree. Absolutely. Because you have to recognize the true value of yourself before anybody else is going to value you. So yes, absolutely. I can agree with that one.
Oh, Rebe says, my guy is 6'5", but I didn't pick him for his height. All right.
Rebe, come on, Rebe. Rebe, come on. He just happened to be 6'5". I mean, hey, it is possible. He could just happen to be 6'5". Rebe, I need you to put up some of your bucket. What was on your need list, like your to-do list for a man? We'll get back to you, Rebe.
Okay. All right, y'all gonna have to have y'all own conversation because this is crazy. Okay, so your finances are in order. When you get with that person, you know you're not coming with all this debt and they expecting them to help you pay off your debt before y'all get married or whatever.
But is that a sign that I'm ready for love if I ain't got no bills? That's a sign that we straight to get a house or something. I don't think that's a sign to say that, hey, I paid off that credit one, and all my Geico insurance is paid up. Like, I don't think it's going to say that I'm ready for love. It could be I'm ready for marriage. We're going into, going into something debt free, where now we can purchase something together. So if you want to grow together that way,
so you're setting yourself up for that. And I think it also shows that you can be disciplined enough to, stay dedicated to something until it's paid off or whatever. Because some people, they lose focus when they, when you're trying to do something. Sometimes something happens to where it distracts you. I call them fatal distractions, and you forget what you was doing, and now your focus is on something else. So you stay dedicated and focused long enough to pay that off, which says something about a relationship. That means, you have the potential to stay focused.
So this is why some companies, when they do their background check, they do a credit check also to see if you're a responsible person. Yeah. So I need to start credit checking women these days just to see if they're going to hang in there and stay and pay their debt. Yeah, give me all my coins back. I need all the bags that I gave out. Yeah.
All right. Next one is, so we're talking about what are some signs that you are ready for love. And the next one is you are ready to share the real you with somebody.
Okay, I could kind of go for that. I think that more so I guess it depends on both ends. But I know when it comes to women, with a lot of the ones who put their lipstick on with the smile and all of that different stuff, when they finally just let it all hang out and it's actually them, like no lashes, you ain't looking like this, no lashes, no makeup, nothing, and I actually can see you for you, and you just don't care anymore, then yeah, I could say you're probably in love by that time, because I'm going to love you for you, regardless you got that stuff on or not. It's just to enhance your beauty, not become your beauty.
Yeah, I think at some point in time, you should reveal yourself to that person. If that's a person, so at least so they know what they're getting, have a date to where, you don't have to get dressed up and do all of those things. Because at some point you're going to have to wake up. You're going to get tired of waking up before him to go put on your makeup. So, it gets tiring. So it's like, okay, you were born natural, so let's just do this. And to have a guy that understands that I put on makeup to enhance me and not to change my total look, and some guys like that. They be like, go ahead, baby, do you, go ahead and, be a 10 while you out there. Don't just go out, because you represent him too. So you want to make sure, he wants to make sure that you look good when you're going out there. So always put stuff together.
Yes, you can see her with her wig off. Ooh, you winning. Yeah.
Okay, Rebe says, self-sufficient, kind-hearted, fun. I've dated men that were 5'5". The height isn't important. The person's mind and heart and spirit turns me on. All right. Rick McCain said, you are funny. I think you have to be able to look inside of someone, which you have to take the time to find out these things that Rebe is talking about. Because they may not be your specific height, but if you take the time to sit down and talk to them, then height, to really get to know that person, then height becomes irrelevant. You're like, oh, okay, so maybe he's not my height, but guess what? I love the way he treats me. He opens the doors for me, always, saying something kind to me. He's a good person. So you have to look for those things versus, someone who may be those preferences that you want, but, they're treating you like crap. So,
yeah, I think if he's a 9 out of 10, he's a keeper. I think if he's an 8 out of 10, he's a keeper. Hell, if he's a 7 out of 10, I think he's a keeper. You need to reevaluate your list.
Rebe is really going on. She says, I don't date dumb, tall, dark, handsome men. You must be intelligent, kind, and interesting, and fun is a must. So Rebe Ryan she knows exactly what it is that she wants. And this is important to know what you want so that when somebody comes across having things that you don't want, you know how to be like, no, cut it short and keep it moving and don't lead people on.
Well, would you really knock a person down because they don't have one thing? What if he wasn't funny, but he had all those other things that she just named?
Man, you need somebody with a sense of humor. I need somebody I can laugh with. Like,
Nah, not a tip. Okay. What if he had humor, but he didn't have the looks?
Whatever is important to you, it has to be whatever is important to you. You want somebody that's going to be easy on the eyes. You want somebody that you're attracted to, somebody that turns you on. You don't want to be like, oh, I got to put a bag over his head just for him to touch me. You don't want that. I mean, you want somebody that's, that's pleasing to the eye. He doesn't have to look like a Denzel Washington or, somebody like that. But, you want him to be pleasing to the eye. You want other women to look at him and be like, ooh, okay,
So what if he was funny, he was intellectual, but he had a hygiene problem?
Oh, I mean, no, we ain't doing that. Go wash your butt. We're not doing it.
So you can't overlook one thing, because everything I named, you can't overlook. Like, well, man, he got to be there. He got to be funny, because I can't. Like, so, this becomes the list.
Okay, the hygiene, that's a big problem. Okay, so say the hygiene is because of a place that you work at a car place, so you smell like oil or whatever, something like that. You still go home and you take a bath. I'm gonna tell you, if it's a hygiene problem, I'm gonna be like, babe, what's going on? I always smell, oh, I'm gonna buy you some cologne or something. I'm gonna be buying stuff trying to give you a hint, or just come out and tell you what's going on, because I don't like that smell.
Yeah, well, maybe his sweat glands are extensive and he sweats a lot, and he can't help it.
We need to change your diet. We need to change your diet. Whatever it is that you're eating that's making your pores smell like that, stop it. Let's do something different. Let's take a different route. I'm just not going to do when you.
Oh, this is good. This is good tonight.
Rick McCain says, talk about height when it comes to a woman being taller than a man. Most men don't like that.
Oh, I love a tall woman. I love a tall woman. I don't care. Again, for me, look, again, this is PG-13, so I can't say those type of things, but I love a tall woman.
I'm trying to think. I don't think I've ever dated anybody shorter than me or even my height. I don't remember ever, because I really wasn't paying it. I really wasn't like, oh, he has to be this height or that height. I don't remember ever. They might have been my height, like with heels on. If I had on heels and we're the same height or whatever.
But you're a tall woman with heels. I've been next to you.
Yeah, I mean, and I love heels. So if I'm with a guy and he's shorter than me and he doesn't mind me wearing my heels, then we good, because I love heels.
I love heels too. I love women in heels. That is one of my weaknesses.
Yeah, so I mean, heels are sexy. So I love heels. So if I can wear my heels, then you're not gonna feel intimidated. Then we good. We good, because I'm gonna wear my heels.
Always be you. Never change who you are.
Exactly. If you are just tuning in, we are live on Intellectual Radio. This is Warriors Talk, and we're trying to help you guys know if you are ready for love. You have to know so that you won't be sitting in these relationships unhappy or trying to make somebody else make you happy, and then you're upset with them because you're not happy. So we talked about finances. We talked about loving yourself. We talked about making choices that maybe your family is not even happy with. We talked about controlling your sexual impulses as well. And so we also talked about not being afraid to share your real self with somebody. And so the next one, which I think we done stepped all over this one, is tossing out that ideal mate list that you have. You don't like that list, do you?
Ooh.
You have to have something to go by. Otherwise, what's that saying? If you don't have standards, you'll fall for anything. You'll fall for anything if you don't have something in place to say, this is what I want. And I think that you should get some of the things that you need, and you should get some of the things that you want. Especially if I'm going to have to deal with you for the rest of my life, I gotta have some things that I want on that list.
Yeah, but I may not be ready to deal with you for the rest of my life. So we're going to compromise and we're going to break these lists down, because you may not be everything that I want, but I'm overlooking some things because I like you for you. I like who you are. I don't care if you 5'2" and I was looking for 5'5". I don't care if you 6'5" and you tower over me, or you don't wear makeup or lipstick or anything like that, or you like your hair natural. If I feel that you're a good fit for me and I like you, but you know, you got a short haircut, knowing that I like long haircut, I'm going to say, you know what? Let me just see. Can I deal with it? Because they say opposites attract. And what you're looking for may not, Nas said it best. What turns a man's head may not turn a man's heart. So you may look a certain way. You may look good to the eye, but you could be very ugly inside. So that's what I need to get to. Can you hold a conversation? Can you rock with me if we're out somewhere? Can you talk to other people properly without using, as we say, the ghetto slang or any sort? Can you hold a great conversation with some people? Are you great with people? Are you great around people? Do you go out? Do you try to steal? Just anything, you know, these things, these are what I look for. So, you know, I try to overlook, but.
The one thing about women is that we have the ability to switch it up. So if I wear my hair natural 1 week, the next week I can go get a silk press and wear it straight. You know, so we have the ability to do different things with our hair. Even if it's short, then I could go and get a 27 piece or whatever, put in my hair. Or I can go get a wig or a lace front to make it longer. So, you know, we are not necessarily stuck with this one look. And that's the thing that I love about women, is that we can switch it up at any time to look a different way.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily, you know, to make the man happy. I mean, it's okay to like role play and do some things like that, but you should be able to switch it up and not just be the same all the time.
This is true, because even in relationships, you're never the same person. The way I met you the first time is not going to be the person who you end up with over time, because as time go on, you're going to grow. We're going to grow. Our appetite for different things is going to grow. So we're going to begin to look at things differently. We're going to want different things. Our goals are going to be different now. So each year or a couple years, you're going to be a different person. And that's without the wigs, the makeup, or whatever the case. Now, all of that is great. I love it. I love to see the change in you. I would love to see the braids. I would love to see how you just manifest and become someone else. That's a wonderful thing, just watching you as you flourish, as you change. And that's just a part of the growth process for not just me, but for both of us.
Rick McCain mentioned, he said, but most men don't. It's the Napoleon complex. And I know a couple of guys who are short have the Napoleon complex.
Mm-hmm.
Because they are short, but then they want to feel as big as, you know, bigger than their height. I mean, I don't know. I guess it depends on the person.
Yeah, I mean, if you're confident and if she's a special lady, you're not going to care about the height. You're going to see right. Well, I was about to say right over that, but
What?
You'll see right into it. There you go.
Okay, so the next one says, you accept that some problems will never be resolved. Because sometimes, you know, you argue and you try to resolve some issues, but sometimes you just have to agree to disagree.
That's true, but does that mean that you're ready for love? That means that you're ready to compromise on some things. But I don't think that's you're ready to love. That gives a reason that you're ready to love.
Love is compromise. You're going to be compromising.
You know, I learn something every Monday when we have this show. Got to really appreciate Warriors Talk every Monday with host Lady ReShell and co-host Biz. We really be dropping some gems and some knowledge to help people through. Thank you for watching, everybody.
If you're in love, you are going to be compromising with somebody. There's going to be something that they're doing that you really don't want to do, but you're doing it because you love them and you want to make them happy. And so I'm sure they're going to be doing the same thing. Sometimes it could be a woman going shopping. She may want her man to go with her. You know, some men like to go, some men don't, but he may just go just to make you happy. Okay, babe, you go, you trying on clothes, and he's sitting there like, oh my goodness, you done tried on this outfit about 5 times. You look the same the first time when you first put it on. You know, so he may not like to do that, but he compromised and he go anyway. He may not like to go to his in-laws' house every Thanksgiving, but he compromised and he goes just because, you know, he wants to make you happy. So if you're going to be in love, you shouldn't be compromising a lot or on really major things, but you're going to be compromising.
Well, that's true. I think when it comes to like the holidays, it should be an agreement. 1 year we go here, next year we go there. 1 year we go here, next year we go there. That settles that situation. Me, I love to go shopping with my woman. I think I'm in the stores more than she is. Have you seen my Facebook page? Do you see my suits? So I don't think that I need to go shopping with her. I think more so she'll be coming shopping with me. But then you need to go shopping with these women because you need to know exactly how much they're spending and what you got yourself into. Because if she's going over budget, then you might find out about the secret stash also. Because it's like, well, where did you get this money from? There's only money, $56 in the account, and you about to spend $147. Something you want to tell me?
What's wrong with my secret stash?
That's all right, because us men, we got them too.
It ain't
So why we hiding secrets from each other?
It's not really, because I'm spending. You'll see me in the whatever I'm stashing away. If I'm spending it, you'll see it. Or I'm going to be using it to do something with the household with. I'm not going to be being secretive and be like, women do that. Women put money to the side. So when something goes down and for some reason that man can't come through, you're like, okay, babe, I got you. I was putting that money to the side that you was giving me every week, and here we go. We can take care of this. Some women do that. Some women do
very responsible women.
And I think men appreciate that. They're like, okay, I can count on her because I know she done put something to the side. They may not ever ask you for it, but they know that you have it.
That's why you got to know who you're dealing with. That I know my wife, my woman is a very responsible person. Because if I know I had it, I'll be down in P Valley somewhere throwing them dollars. I'll be down there like, yeah, but yeah. So, yeah.
I am loving Ruby Ryan. She says opposite don't attract. My opposite is boring, unkind, foolish man, or broke man. That's her.
That is her opposite, huh?
Brenda said, "I'll just listen, sister, because I'm not ready." You have to be honest with yourself and know that you're not ready, and don't try to mess up somebody. Henry says compromise is essential in every relationship. It really is. It really is.
That's true. That's true, Henry. That's very true.
And I commend Brenda for knowing that she's not ready. A lot of people are not going to tell you they're not ready. They'll just go ahead and enter into that relationship and mess you up. You will be messed up. So you got to know when you're not ready. And we're going over some of the list today. So if anything, I would say if you have more than maybe, because I have like 22 things on this list. So maybe if you have more than 4 things that you heard, then you're not ready. And what's wrong with taking time to get yourself together? Not just for a relationship, but to be able to stand on your own, to be able to love yourself. If you can, would you date yourself? If you met yourself, would you go out with yourself? That's a loaded question. Because some people probably would, and they like, girl, no, I wouldn't date myself. So why would you expect somebody else? Why would you expect somebody else to date you if you wouldn't even put up with yourself?
Because it's convenient. Told you, convenient over commitment. You got to be committed to yourself before being committed to someone else. Convenience is good. You get what you want. Then after that, then what do you have?
Yeah. Convenience is no. Don't do convenience. Always go a step above convenience. Okay, where do we leave off? We're talking about what are some signs that you know that you are ready for love. And Brenda just said that she knows that she's not ready for love, so she's just listening to the things that we're talking about. So another one is you are aware that the lack of communication is the kiss of death in a relationship.
That's very true. Not talking to your partner, your mate, or whoever it is, that could be devastating to a relationship because things start to build up. You start to get that boiling. At what boiling point will things explode? How much stuff do you have to take before you let it all out? Because a lot of relationships could be saved by a simple conversation, but we don't like to conversate. We don't like to communicate. And because of that, those relationships are now put to the side. Feelings, emotions, and all of those things are now thrown in, and people are upset, can't stand each other. We need to separate, get a divorce, when all you had to do was say, hey, I don't like this, I didn't like that. Can you, let's see how we can do better. Let's see how we can change things. Let's see how we can see how we can really make this work between us without having to call it quits.
I think people are busy talking to everybody else versus talking to their mate. So everybody else knows their business except for the mate, because we don't take time out to talk to the mate. For some reason, we don't. And I'm guilty of doing the same thing. Like I would talk to everybody else, and then when the guy come around, everybody looking at him like he crazy, because you don't tell everybody your business. And they're like, "Girl, I thought you was gonna break up with me. What's going on? Y'all still together?" Like, it's like, "Yeah, girl, I haven't gotten around to it yet." And then they mad with him because you done told them all this stuff, and then y'all back on good terms now. And it's like, okay, just tell this person what is going on and give them a chance to correct the situation before you go around telling everybody your business.
That's right. If you start doing more talking to me than talking about me, we'll be on much better terms.
And my thing is, with me, I'll tell the person what I feel is not right, or where I'm not happy at. So I'll let you know, we could sit down and talk about it. And I'm not really fingers always use I. Like, I feel like, that this is that this would make me happy. I feel that I would use I instead of saying you didn't do this. You kind of use that reverse psychology. And I'll let you know what's going on multiple times. I will give you a chance to correct the situation. And then if I feel like for like maybe a week or two, and then they'll go back to doing the same thing. So if I feel like I keep repeating myself with you and I keep telling you over and over, I'm the type of person that I would try to exhaust every measure with you before I walk away. But once I walk away, I'm done. I'm not going back because I have no regrets. So yeah, I'll give you a chance. I'll tell you exactly what it is. So that, it's so easy. Like, I'm giving you the answers to the test. All you got to do is go ahead and mark it. And you don't listen, then it's a listening skill. So I gotta go. I'm up.
It's so easy to walk away from relationships these days because people don't want to put in that work and do what was necessary to have it to work.
I don't agree with that. I believe that people stay. Nowadays, people stay. People put up with a lot of stuff in relationships. And when they walk away, they have given you about 20, 30 chances to correct the problem, and then they're gone. I don't believe that people are just walking away and not putting in the work. They put in the work, but people are not being, they're not responding to what you're saying. They think it's a joke. Oh, she ain't going nowhere. You know how many options out here for men to, I don't believe people are just walking away without even putting in work. Because I know I've done it. I put in the work before I walked away. So, and just listening to even my girlfriends talk about what they do and to see the things that they do. People are not just up walking away from relationships. They're putting in the work. But some people have a lot of options that even if you put in overtime, it's not going to make that person stay with you. It's not going to make that person treat you a certain way because they have a lot of options that's catering to their needs.
And like I said, I see totally the opposite. But again, nowadays you got people who's just going along just to get along. And that's not how it should be. Like, you should really be into that person, not just being there because it's convenient for you to be there. Like, well, I've been with this person for 8 years. I might as well stay. Let me see if I could get to a decade. Let me see if I can get to 10, and for what? You're sitting there 8 years, you're miserable. Why? And I think that's why people are like, they're not wasting their time because the person is not going to change if it's been that long, whatever it is that they're doing. And again, a young lady told me, if I have to change who I am, I'm not the woman for you. I said, ooh, she hit me with some deep stuff.
Right. I mean, you should not have to change, especially if I met you a certain way. And then all of a sudden you want me to be a different way. You don't want me. You want somebody else. So let's just cut this short right now and not waste any of our time. Like, I don't know what people be thinking. And I think that's why you have to stick to your core values. You have to.
But that becomes the walking away part that I was talking about, because they get to it and then they find out that what they signed up for isn't really what they wanted. And that's what we're having this conversation. And they're like, nah, I'm not ready for this. I'm not ready for this type of love. This isn't me. I didn't. And then they're gone. They ghost you. Poof, Casper.
I'm with Henry. He said, I believe that once that cup of terror is full, it's time to go. It is so. For everybody that's listening to the show right now, can you do me a favor? Can you make sure you like the show? Make sure you share the show out. I'm sure that somebody would love to hear about the signs, talking about, are you ready for love? So share it out or invite somebody else in. We're live on Intellectual Radio. And Rizal and I are talking about getting y'all ready to fall in love. So I agree with Henry. I totally agree with him. I think sometimes we waste time and we probably miss the person that we're supposed to be with because we're wasting time with this other person. And it could be out of loyalty, like Rizal was saying, out of loyalty because you've been together 8-10 years. And it's like, but what have you accomplished in this relationship? Are you guys just accomplishing stuff separately? Like, what has the relationship accomplished since you've been together? And some people can't even tell you what they accomplished because they're busy working on separate goals. They're not working together.
Yeah, they're not working on their goals together. And that comes to those levels of over the years, y'all growing. Like I was saying, that you're going to change your body. Your goals is going to be different 2 years. Your goals should be different 2 years, 3 years from now, or whatever. Y'all should be striving for something different. So that's why you're going to change. You're going to be a total different person. Your wife, your husband is going to become like 7 different people as y'all begin to spend your lives together. You may not realize it yet, but as time go on, you're going to want different, and wanting different requires change. So.
Wow. Thank you so much, Brenda, for sharing the show. And I know Henry shared it out as well. Let me see if I can read this. Reby Ryan says, I feel you, sis. I don't do do-overs after I give you a chance to get it right because I self-inventory all the time to consider his point of view. Expect the same. I don't want a man that isn't a thinker. That girl, that right there, you do not, because you know what? That man is going to lead you nowhere. He's not nowhere. He's going to be dependent on you to do all of the brain work. And how can you follow a man that's not a thinker? You cannot. You cannot. So I agree with you on that. Henry is hilarious. Henry said 8 years and 8 minutes. If the cup is full, your time is up.
Shout out to Henry, always listening in.
Henry and Reby, oh my goodness. Hilarious. This is hilarious, but it's serious. It is so serious. And you cannot leave your heart in the hands of somebody who is not going to take care of it. Brenda said, what happened to growing together instead of growing apart? Exactly. I don't understand how you could be in a relationship and you two are not growing together. I can understand you working on your own goals and y'all cheering each other on. Okay, but what is the goal of this relationship? What are we doing together? Like, I want to be with somebody that we're building something together, whether it be a business, whether it be a house and we're taking care of the house, something. We should be building something together.
That's what we should be doing, but there's always an agenda. Most men or women, they get into it because they're needing help. And that's what, and they confuse the help for the goals. Like, look, if I just shack up, if I just get this guy to come and shack up, he could pay half the rent, then I'll save money. That's the goal for some women. For some men, the same thing. I can't lie. Some men, they be homeless and they be trying to like, ooh, she got it going on. Let me see if I can get with her and now take care of my homelessness, So it be an agenda. It's not how it should be. It's not for the right things anymore. We're not looking for love. We're looking for help.
And that goes back to the finances, having your finances in order, because if your finances are in order, you're not looking for help. You're just looking for somebody who's going to complement what you have versus completing what you have. And I think a lot of people are looking for people to complete them versus to actually complement.
And I think that's what make a lot of people cautious about dating, because you don't know what they're in it for. Are they here for me or are they here for what I got? You just don't know. And then the walls start to go up. And now you want to wait to see how long it's going to take for him or her to show her true color. Like, okay, yeah, you just here because you think I got a little dough, not knowing that the struggle is real over here on this end. Surprise, surprise.
Oh my God. Okay, where did we leave off at? Okay. You're willing to put someone else's needs before your own. That's a heavy one right there.
Yeah, I can go with that one. Yeah, because I did it. Because as I said early in the show, that when me and my wife got together, I didn't know if I was going to be in love with her. But when it got to the point when she got to her situation, and that was fighting the cancer, when I knew that if I could have traded places with her just so that she could be all right, I knew that was love. So yeah, I can go for that.
That is love right there. So we've been talking about this. You're ready to put in work because we know relationships takes work. If you're not ready to put in work, then do not get in a relationship.
That's right. Don't go disrupting somebody's peace. Let them carry on if you ain't ready to do this.
Oh my goodness. The next one says, you don't have a hard time apologizing or admitting when you're wrong. So you're not trying to win the fight all the time. You're not always trying to get the last word when it comes to your argument. Some things I tell women, pick your battles. Pick your battles. Don't fight and argue with him about every little thing. Pick
Yes.
some things are just not even worth fighting over. Okay, so he leaves his underwear on the floor every time he get out of the shower. Okay. And you told him 10 times to pick it up. Okay, just pick it up and put it in the hamper. It's not gonna break your arm. Leave it. I'm not gonna say leave it for something big to argue about, but just, pick your battles. That's something that's, put y'all at odds with each other. Now he mad, he storms out of the house. Now you wondering where he at, it could have been avoided.
That's right. It's not how well you fight, but it's about what you're fighting for.
Right there. Right.
And a lot of the things, like everything is not worth the fight.
It's not. Watch what you say when you're fighting too, because there's some things that you're not going to be able to take back. So.
Oh yeah. Oh, you learn the real person, their true feelings when you fight. Yep. Them daggers come out.
So you have to be careful. Don't say nothing that you are not going to be able to take back.
Yes. They say you never know a person until you live with them and until you fight them.
That's true. Okay, what's the next one? Because I know we're going to end our running.
What's the next one? Because time be against us.
Oh, so the next one says you have to be emotionally available. A lot of people.
Yeah. You can't be cautious. You got to be open for this to receive this love. You can't put up them walls because you look inside eye like, what is the agenda? Like, you're never going to truly love a person if you don't open up and love them. It's just not going to be there. Yes. You got to be open to love.
That's true. Okay, the next one says, oh, your ex is no longer on your mind.
No longer on my mind?
Yes, you're not, reminiscing about your ex all the time.
Oh yeah, no, that shouldn't be, especially if you're trying to move forward with someone else. Now, a situation that I have, I'm friends with all my exes, and the reason being, we were friends beforehand, and we broke up not because things weren't. I mean, obviously we weren't meant for each other, and things happened, but we went back to being what we were, and that was friends first. We didn't just run and jump into thing, and now we hate each other's guts, and we can't be cordial or have a conversation with each other. We're still friends because that's what we started out with. So yes, my exes, I don't want them, but they're still in the picture. So to say, they're still my friend.
That's a whole another show.
Uh-oh. Next week's topic on Warriors Talk.
Henry says, no, if you're willing to change your behavior, keep your apologies. If you're not willing to change your behavior, keep your apologies. I think that's what he means. Because you can apologize all day. But if you're not changing that behavior, thank you, Rebe, for sharing the show. I appreciate it. If you're not changing your behavior, then you can keep whatever it is that you're saying. I need action. I need your words to line up with what you're saying so that I know that you mean what you say.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people can't do that. Here he says, stop reminiscing 4 minutes after you. Oh, he stopped reminiscing 4 minutes after you left. So here he ain't gonna give you no back. It's not like, you gotta move on. Sometimes if it's not meant to be and you gave that relationship all that you can, just go. Just, you know what? Hey, I wish the best for you. I don't want nothing bad to happen to you. I love you, but I want you to be happy. Even if you're with somebody else, I want you to be happy.
Mm-hmm.
You have to learn how to move. So we talked about them not completing you, but complimenting you. We talked about that. You have to recognize that a relationship is a privilege. It's a privilege.
Mm.
And the next one is you must know what you want and you must know how to get it.
Mm.
And
Oh,
mhm.
oh my.
And then the next one. So we're talking about some signs that you are ready for love. It says you are clear on your position. So normally they say before you fall in love, know what your gifts are and be already operating in your purpose before you fall in love. This one is a good one. It says you are self-aware and you own your past mistakes. You know how when you're talking to somebody about their relationship, their past relationships, and they're blaming everything on their ex, and nothing, they didn't do anything.
They ain't do nothing. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Nothing's never their fault.
Exactly. And then the next one says you recognize that only you can create your own happiness. So you're not looking for anybody else to make you happy. And I
True.
love the last one. It says you are healed. If you are healed, then you can move on. You can move on to another relationship and be in love. So there you have it. We just gave y'all 22 signs that you are ready for love. So any final words, Rizal?
Oh my God. I tell you, this show is not long enough. It is definitely not long enough because I'm quite sure we could add 22 more to the list. I'm quite sure with our experience and what we've gone through alone. Um, Final words. Man, I just say before opening up somebody's heart, just make sure that your own heart is healed.
I like that. I like that. Okay, so I'll leave you guys with these words of wisdom, and it comes from Stephen Speaks. And he says, when love stares you in the face, make sure that you aren't blindsided by fear and pain from the past. Get the healing you need so that you will be able to embrace what you deserve. So join us next Monday right here on Intellectual Radio. And as always, thank you for tuning in to Warriors Talk, where we are changing lives, one warrior at a time.
That's right. Thank you, Henry. Thank you, Reba.
Thank you, Rick McCain. Because they still commenting.
A fun show tonight, as always.
Thank you.
Please join us next week every Monday evening at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time on IntellectualRadio.com for Warriors Talk with Lady Michelle, where we encourage, educate, and empower you into action.
Thank you, guys. Okay, next time we'll take calls because somebody mentioned it. All right, see you guys next week.